A big thanks to Jeff and the organisers for inviting me over here today to address the march and rally, and that is on behalf of our party, Sinn Féin, and we're just waiting. I was saying to Sean on the way in there, just waiting to hear about the election results from the south, to see if we have another 2 days hopefully elected into the dial, hopefully by the end of today. So, as Jeff said, we're here today to mark the centenary of the foundation of CnamB on the 2nd of April 1914. And the primary aims of the organisation, as stated in its constitution, were to advance the cause of Irish liberty and to organise Irish women in the furtherance of this object, and assist in arming and equipping a body of Irish men for the defence of Ireland. And on the 23rd of April 1916, when the Military Council of the Irish Republican Brotherhood finalised arrangements for the Easter Rising, it integrated CnamB along with the Irish Volunteers and the Irish Citizens' Army into the Army of the Irish Republic. And looking back at the planning for the Rising makes it particularly appropriate that we're having this event in Liverpool today, for as many of you know, Republicans from this city, as Jeff said, travelled across to take part in the events of Easter week 1916. And women were at the forefront of that, as they were in all aspects of the struggle then and now. Local activists Nora Thornton, Cathy Doran, Frances Downey, Peggy Downey, Kathleen Fleming, Anastasia McLaughlin, Kathleen Murphy and Roseanne Murphy received orders to mobilise and travel to Dublin from Liverpool for the Rising. The women of CnamB in Liverpool also organised ceilidhs and other cultural events, first aid classes, rifle training and signalling. Their role within Liverpool Irish cultural life at the time was immense, and their support for Irish freedom continued through to the Irish War of Independence and later into the Civil War of 1922 and 23. And they overwhelmingly rejected the Anglo-Irish Treaty in favour of anti-treaty forces. On the day of the Rising, those CnamB members joined their male counterparts in the GPO and in all of the major rebel strongholds throughout the city, with the exception of Boland's Mill, where De Valera defied the orders of Pearse and Connolly by refusing to allow women fighters into the mill. A number of CnamB members died in the Rising, including volunteer Margarita Gio, who was shot dead outside the South Dublin Union. And following the surrender, over 70 CnamB volunteers were arrested and imprisoned in Kilmainham jail. After the Rising, and led by Countess Markievicz, CnamB took a leading role in popularising the memory of the 1916 leaders. It led the fight to oppose conscription in Ireland and canvassed for Sinn Féin in the 1918 general election, in which, although imprisoned at the time, Markievicz was elected, Chapta Dalla becoming the Minister for Labour in the Irish Republic from 1919 to 1922. In the elections of May 21, Markievicz was joined by fellow CnamB members Mary McSweeney, Dr. Ada English and Kathleen Clark as Chapta Dalla. On the 7th of January 1922, the Anglo-Irish Treaty was approved by the second Dáil and by a close vote of 64 to 57. And on the 5th of February, a convention was held to discuss this, resulting in a 419 vote to 63 in opposition to the treaty. It supported the anti-treaty Republican forces in the Civil War, with over 400 of its members captured and imprisoned by the Free State government. And the Free Staters banned the organisation in January 1923 and opened up Kilmainham as a detention prison for suspected members. But despite, and I went into the history about this here, because despite the commendable sentiments of equality and declaration in the proclamation to cherish all the children of the nation equally, all of us, even today as women, still face the barriers, and the institutional gender inequality remains. If we take, for example, the cases of Margaret Skinner, a primary school teacher in her mid-20s who was shot and wounded while fighting in 1916 while in command of 5 men during the Easter week. She was denied a pension on the basis of the law being interpreted as applicable to soldiers as generally understood in the masculine male sense. But But refusing to accept this discrimination, she persistently challenged this decision, finally having her application approved in 1938. Just today, in this centenary year, we prepare to celebrate the principles on which CnamB is founded. And while leaders in all fields of life, in politics and business and civic society, are still mainly men, they still pay little or no acknowledgement to the role of women in society and the role and the contribution women made to the struggle for Irish freedom. And we need to change that, but it's not just up to women to change that. Our male comrades have to help us to change that also. The role of women in the Republican struggle throughout Irish history has been mainly depicted as subservient to their male contemporaries, and apart from a few notable exceptions, they have basically been written out of history. And we could probably fill a small library with autobiographies and historical accounts of the contributions of our male Republican leaders, but there's still very, very little written about the very significant role played by Irish women revolutionaries. And in every phase of the struggle, women have played a key role. And it wasn't just the women activists who went out. The women activists Sorry about this. It just wasn't the women activists who joined the IRA and went out to fight the might of the British military on the streets. It was also those women who supported the Republican struggle down through the long dark years and suffered, many of them suffered. It was mothers, it was daughters, sisters, grandmothers, aunts, and we need to ensure that their place in Irish history is told in the way it needs to be told. So I just want to say again, thank you very much for inviting me here today. And just when we go from here today, just to keep remembering that if it wasn't for the women in our struggle and the women who supported the struggle down through those years, we wouldn't be where we are today. So thanks again and have a good day for this.